Good morning. Welcome to What's Working Wednesday here on a Wednesday, January 24. We are going to be, I will be sharing a postcard that is getting tremendous response. There he is, my man.
Sorry about that.
We're going to dig into and share a postcard that is getting a ton of scans from very small numbers, and how you can R&D that for yourself to uncover listing opportunities, maybe already in your database, or if you want to proactively use these to farm. But we're going to suggest that you farm not by blanketing, but by being more strategic, and we'll kind of uh, walk through what we mean by that. So once again, it's What's Working Wednesday. The show, as always, is brought to you by our team at NEXA Mortgage. We had a great call yesterday about fixer-upper financing. Had a ton of agents on, great questions and scenarios and interaction. You can check out the replay of that at growwithjosh.com/fixer-upper class, or I believe it's live on our YouTube channel, Wake Up Real Estate. It's on the site at wakeup.realestate. Check it out. And if you have any potential borrowers or scenarios that you want to run through with myself or Jordan or Taylor on our team, we'd be more than happy to help. The show is also brought to you by thanks.io, and that's where I sent, or what I used to send the postcards that we're going to share today with you all. Ryan's got a social post of the day. While he's bringing that up, Real Estate Richie, morning guys, making calls on Mojo and ready to learn some cool stuff. Well, good for you for pounding the phones. You're better than Ryan and I. We're not a big pound the phones guy. But since you brought it up, Richie, after the social post of the day, I have a little hack for calling that I thought was really, really good, that I saw on Instagram, thanks to Andrew Robinson, our guy Andrew. Ryan, what do we got social post for today?
Yeah, so I just grabbed a featured neighborhood. If you have KV Core, I think most platforms do this. You can just grab a page for any zip code or neighborhood really quickly. So just I needed something fast and easy. Just Pinellas County Real Estate zip code of the day. So you can do this in your market. Click here to see stats and listings, and it'll just take people over to that page. So just pick a neighborhood and talk about it.
Great stuff, simple and easy. And if your website doesn't have it, there's probably something in your MLS, some kind of report or something that you could run and do the same thing, right? One way or another, you can R&D this in some way, shape, or form, regardless of what tech stack you do have or don't have, etc. What else we got going there, Ryan?
I figured I'd sneak this in before we get to the postcard, since you got everybody waiting on that open loop. So we recently started testing a starter homes campaign in Josh's market for somebody who lives in that area. It is Josh doing better now. It's an 18.18 conversion rate. The leads are coming in at $10.36. So that's acceptable. What's
that's
cool about
under a week's worth of data, right?
Yeah. That's about we're coming up on like 5-6 days. So 12 leads. I just want to share the in the spirit of what's working now. I want to share the page. You'll notice here, Josh, that I have very few keywords operating here. It's literally one little town in your area that has a phrase match, and we're just pulling the homes keyword on that. And then the ad is as follows: Mechanicsburg starter homes priced from 100 to 300K, 15 plus homes for first-time buyers. See a current list of starter homes for first-time buyers in Mechanicsburg now. And the special sauce, as always, is the landing page here. Because what we've been able to do, I think we've sent the NEXA team 2-3 people who said that they wanted, might have been 2 or 3 of these first 10 leads, said that they do want financing info. So the first checkbox asks about their situation. So that's good information to have, right?
Love it. Love it.
And then the second one just says, would you also like to receive information about any first-time buyer financing and low down payment options you might qualify for? So this is a good one you can do in conjunction with your lender. And then I think we've got about maybe a third or fourth of them, which is normal. 3 or 4 people have given a phone number. Most people don't. But when somebody gives you an optional phone number, it's a real number. How do you do that? That's a long story.
Richie asks, those landing pages are sick. How do you do that?
The short answer is WordPress plus a plugin called Formidable Forms. You can use Gravity Forms. A lot of the WordPress Forms plugins will let you do these conditionals. I'll probably have to do a workshop eventually separately to show everybody how to do this. Maybe on one of the masterminds, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's
and
just
Richie, I know that we've talked several times. You know, if or when you're ready to have us do the lead gen for you, whether it's Google pay-per-click or Facebook, because I know that you've shared with me a few times. I don't think you'll mind us saying that, you know, you've tried different social media marketing and so forth and just never gotten much in the way of tangible results. I mean, you will get results, i.e. leads, if we work together on that. Now, for Richie or anyone else wondering, you've got to have a minimum budget of 20 to 25 bucks a day, or, you know, 600 to $1,000 per month for the traffic. Okay. The vast majority of that budget is going directly towards the ad spend. But if you do, we can do this stuff for you. We're pretty good at it.
Yeah, you'll see, like, right here, like, we're at 125 bucks. We're almost at a week. And that's kind of where you need to be with Google pay-per-click. You can be less, but in order to get a big enough sample size to know if something's working, to make adjustments, and to just get some business flowing, you need to run something like this for at least a month or two before you really start to move the needle. So
yeah, so two things with that. Last week we had Ernest, who's with us this morning. Good morning, Ernest. On for What's Working Now. And one of the things that he shared was Google pay-per-click for himself as well. You should go back and check out last week's What's Working Wednesday session. You can find it on the YouTube channel or wakeup.realestate if you're curious and want some more examples of what's working now. And not only Google pay-per-click, but Ernest has some great dynamic Facebook ads, which we talked about earlier on the week, or earlier this week as well. So lots of right ways to get to the, you know, the end goal of growing your database. We haven't said this in a while, but we say it often. Our primary jobs as real estate professionals, besides the actual, you know, client work, which should be a given, right? Obviously, we've got to create or provide great service and knowledge and fiduciary care for our clients, right? Beyond that, your two primary roles: grow your database and nurture your database. Grow it, nurture it. If you can get good at those two things, you'll always have people to work with or potential clients to work with. So the second thing is, Ryan, maybe we can tie you down for a mastermind session for those that want the DIY, maybe next week or the following Wednesday. We have a topic for today. So if you want to join us at 1, we're kind of piggybacking off the last 2 weeks on our masterminds. It was about short form video, how I create the content, where I post, how I post, all of that good stuff. Today, we're going to show the retargeting process and protocol that I'm following right now. And most of the retargeting content is short form video content that I'm then putting money behind to make sure that people in my audience buckets see it. And then also a very simple way to boost content so that your more of your like sphere of influence, personal contacts on social media will get those as well. So we're going to do that at 1 Eastern today, wakeup.realestate/MM. But maybe maybe Ryan will come on next week or the following and show for those of you that want to be able to build a landing page like what Ryan showed you there. What you'll learn by the end of that is you probably just want to pay us to help you with it.
But if you're tenacious enough, everything I said a few minutes ago about which WordPress and the plugins, you can Google the rest and figure out how to recreate. So it's all, the information is all right there for you if you feel like figuring it out. All right.
Ernest asked, "Hey Ryan, have you been able to get local services ads to work?"
Haven't tried it.
So they were working for me when 2021 or maybe it was 22, and it has fallen off a cliff for me. No matter what I try, I can't get traction anymore. And I think it's just competition, even though I've got a lot of reviews on Google and whatever. And so, yeah, I mean, we've got content around that for those of you that are curious about how to set those up. And for those of you that don't know, local services ads is a Google product where your Google business listing, if someone goes, especially on their phone, and they search real estate agent Harrisburg, PA, there will be a 3-pack of local service providers at the top where they can just tap to call. So they're very motivated, and I would say very much bottom of funnel leads, right? So they're people that are closer to making a buying or listing or selling decision. So if you can get it to work, it's awesome. I have done transactions from local services ad calls. I haven't gotten them in a long time, even though I could go and show my ad is live, but it's just,
it's weird. I don't even see them popping up half the time. Like,
and maybe that's part of it too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe
And
Google
Richie said
stopped.
they're expensive too. Well, it's all relative, Richie, right? So like, honestly, from the calls I've gotten on those, I would say at least 1 in 4 turned into an actual closed transaction. So expensive is relative. Like, I mean, to me, they were not expensive because I was literally paying $100 to $150 for a closed transaction. I'll take that exchange every day of the week and twice on Sundays. It's just that I can't get them to work anymore.
They're not giving impressions, as far as I can tell here.
Yeah, so there could be any number of reasons to what's going on with that.
It's more of probably a Google thing. Yeah.
Yep. One more thing here before we get into what I actually promised today, which is postcards that you can use to farm and generate seller opportunities. But a great share here from Lowe is that DPA, down payment assistance, mortgage email scripting is working in California. I will tell you that is working and will work everywhere. Talking about and sharing information about down payment assistance programs is a great way to generate conversation opportunities and get buyers interested and engaging with you. And we have, maybe Mike can link it up here, but we've had sessions on down payment assistance. We have lead capture pages on the site at wakeup.realestate for down payment assistance that you can use. And if you need help with scripting or drafting an email or a text around these concepts, just reach out. We are happy to help. It is a wonderful way. I can tell you that we've generated more phone appointments, scheduled phone appointments around the down payment assistance and special financing in the last 6 to 9 months than anything else as far as scripting and testing goes. So it can and does work wonderfully. Okay, now to what we actually promised today. I'm going to bring up my screen here. I teased this at the end of yesterday's call. Monday night, randomly, can you see my screen, Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay, so Monday night, randomly, I don't even know where I was. Monday night was a blur because kids doing this thing and that thing and everything else. But I started to get email notifications of QR code scans. Okay, one of the many reasons why I love Thanks.io, when people that receive your mail with Thanks.io, if you've got a QR code on there, you get notified when they scan it, which means a follow-up to Mike Stearns, who commented yesterday, what's the best place to send folks that scan? Well, 2 answers to that. Number 1, it should be relevant and congruent to why you're telling them to scan, right? But beyond that, it doesn't matter a ton because you know who scans. Okay, you know who scans because it's if I go here, this is the mail piece, and I'll show the mail piece. But when I click on the scans, these are the 4 people, 4 out of 25 that scanned this card. Okay, this postcard. So here's what the postcard looks like, and here's the best news about this postcard. All of you can use this today, immediately. Like, There's nothing stopping you from using this to get yourself some listing opportunities and conversations with sellers. The front of the card says, the main headline, see how much a buyer might pay for address 16 Westgate Drive today. Scan the QR code. Doggone it, I still have a grammatical error on this. Scan the QR code, get 4 different automated valuations, and make your own adjustments based on property features. Now, this QR code is directly integrated with IList. Okay, growwithjosh.com/IList. Growwithjosh.com/IList. You can get a free trial. I think it's like a 45-day trial. If you don't have that, you all have something that you can use to give them an automated valuation. You just have to be able to make good on some kind of offer like this. Okay. The back of the card. Hi, David. If you'd like to check the current market value of 16 Westgate Drive, scan the QR code now. You'll instantly see 4 different automated opinions of value. Plus, you can use our fun adjustment tool to tweak your own value based on your property's features. This will give you a more accurate idea about what a buyer might pay for 16 Westgate Drive in today's market. Josh, P.S., feel free to call or text me at this number if you want my team to prepare a full, quote-unquote, human-generated report for your home. Now, before we unpack this in more detail, okay, if you want help in setting all of this up, just go to wakeup.realestate, use the little chat widget bottom right, or email mike@growwithjosh.com. If you want to deploy this exactly as outlined here, you will need IList, and you'll have to use thanks.io, and we can help with all of the tech part of that. Okay, so there's that. That aside, this strategy, right? The principles of this strategy, all of you can use regardless of what tech you have or what direct mail solution you choose to utilize. The reason why I love this tech stack that we're demonstrating here is when the recipient of that card scans the QR code, they don't have to opt in for anything. They don't get, they don't get thrown off the scent of anything. They immediately get to see a dashboard with their property and 4 different valuations, AVM models for their property, just like this. They are literally taken right to a page like this. Okay, so we're delivering information and value as promised on the postcard. And I am notified in real time of those people. Those are people that I can, could, should, and will follow up with in more detail to see where they're at. There's a reason why they were interested enough to scan that QR code. It might be that they're legitimately just curious, okay? Yeah. But many of them are going to sell in the next 3, 6, 9 months. Well, and yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
There's an important point about that sample of 25, and you might have said it, but those were follow-ups to people who had already requested a home value, right?
Exactly. So some important additional thoughts or information, and I'll make sure I'm going to weave in the tip that I was going to share that was related to Richie's cold calling question. Yeah. If you're going to send these out, okay, in my opinion, you shouldn't simply blanket a neighborhood. You should do it to a list that is more targeted or has demonstrated through their behavior that they are more likely to sell. And you can do that in one of 2 ways. Number 1, top of funnel marketing, which we've shared a ton of content on over the last 3 to 6 months on campaigns that I had been running for generating home value seller leads, right? You can use Facebook and Instagram ads to get home sellers to, through their behavior, right? You're putting ads in front of them. And when they opt in, that's demonstrating they are more likely to sell than just the general population. Okay. And the postcard that I showed is an automated direct mail follow-up. So And that was, I don't know, those 25 that received that postcard, they had originally requested a home valuation, I think 60 days ago or somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's right in the, you're coming up on 80 days on those.
There you go. The other bucket, if you want to just directly target folks in your market, is whether you use Remine or you use PropStream or you use Thanks.io's built-in mailing list functionality, targeting sellers that are more likely to sell based upon artificial intelligence and algorithmic data. Is it perfect? No. But if, for example, in my neighborhood, there's, I don't know, 150 homes or so. If I can use artificial intelligence to identify which 20 to 25 of those 150 are more likely to sell, I can be more targeted and strategic, right? And the reason why I bring that up is if you have minimal budget to work with, you got to be a little bit more strategic and targeted. Okay. So the places that I would start with this are as follows. Number one, a follow-up to yesterday's Texting Tuesday, right? That text script that we had said for you to send to all of the homeowners, the unconverted homeowners in your database. Well, you could send this postcard to that same audience, different channel, different message. Okay. That would be number one. There's a reason why they're in your database as a homeowner, right? Whether they're a Z buyer, cash offer seller lead, they're a home value request lead that you got from Street Text or, wherever else, maybe even listings to leads or whatever you may be using for that. Okay. Or you can go and create a targeted list with PropStream, which we got a whole bunch of tutorials on that, or just use Thanks.io and send out, just if you're unsure about this, start with a small batch, send out 10, 25, 100, whatever. Just start with a small batch. And then here's the key though. I'll be honest, I'm dropping the ball on this myself. Invest more time, energy, and efforts into the ones that then respond to that. I haven't done a good enough job on those 4 that I got that scanned on Monday night. But I'm going to today, which ties in this little hack, let's say. Andrew Robinson shared an Instagram post. I think he's the CEO of Real, Sharon Srivatsa. I think I'm saying it right. Sharon Srivatsa. It was just a little, Instagram reel about a hack for cold calling, quote unquote. And in this case, we're not really cold calling, but if you're planning to call, so these four scans, right? If part of my follow-up strategy is to call them, email them before you call with the phone number that you're going to call them from in the email as part of your signature file, the actual text of the phone number, because our phones are really smart now. And that increases the likelihood that when you call, instead of it saying possible scam or scam likely or whatever, it is more likely to say, this is Josh Schoenly with eXp Realty. It might even show, if you've got like the newest iOS, like my latest iOS, when I call somebody, if I call Ryan, it shows my silly profile picture on the phone. It might even do that, depending on how, I don't know, somehow how that works. But it's a simple little hack that will increase the likelihood of people actually answering, right? And it not showing up as a possible scam.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or scam. Richie, how you get their email and put my cell number or their, okay. So how you get their email, number one, you should, whatever data provider you're using, you should be getting that. Number two, in the example that I gave, I have their email because they requested a home valuation from me, right? So you can use free resources like truepeoplesearch.com or that'sthem.com to try and find their email. And then as far as as far as what number to put on there, whatever number is going to show up on their caller ID is what number. So if I'm going to call them from my actual cell phone, it would need to be my actual cell phone number. If I'm going to call through my KV Core Smart number, then I would put my KV Core Smart number. I don't know how Mojo Dialer works because I have never used a dialer, and will be proud to say that I never will. But I don't know if there's a number. And I wouldn't. I'm not suggesting this strategy if you're Mojo dialing, right? You're pounding the phones. This is more strategically reaching out. Let me give you another use case.
Well,
go ahead, Ryan.
I would say you could pound the phones around a mailing. So if you did send, say, 1,000 to a neighborhood and you sourced that list out of Mojo and you had the phone numbers, you could be a little strategic about that. Maybe send the mailing first and then call and ask if they got your postcard or text. Yeah.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Here's another use case. You go into your KV Core dashboard, okay, or you use the filtering. You choose all of the people that have viewed properties on your site in the last 30 days. You send them an email. You make sure that you have the phone number that you're going to call them from in that email, and then you try and call those folks this afternoon. They're indicating through their behavior, they're more likely to be interested and receive whatever it is that you're going to be reaching out about. And you can even tell them in the email, hey, I'm going to give you a call this afternoon. I would love to chat about some of the down payment assistance and special financing programs we have available right now. This is the number I'll be calling from. Hope we can connect and chat a bit, right? So I don't know that this strategy is going to help a ton if you're just literally cold calling, just randomly grabbing a list of homeowner contacts. But even I like Ryan's idea though. Let's say you start with 100. You send out 100. You should be able to get email addresses for a good bit of them, depending on where you got their contact data. If you use thanks.io, thanks.io will append phone number and email. And or if you use PropStream, you can skip trace, get email addresses, and get their phone numbers, and it scrubs against the DNC. I don't know if Thanks has that built in or not. And then you can follow up by email and phone to the ones that aren't on the DNC. You can follow up by email to all of them, and then phone with the ones. And like Ryan said, it's just, hey, just making sure that you got the mailer, and you can see in thanks.io, you can see if it's been delivered or not, because when you click on the mailing, it'll tell you 100%, 25 out of 25 of these cards were delivered, right? You can see processing, printed, in transit, in local area, blah, blah, blah. So this is just another wonderful illustration that there are a whole lot of right ways to get to the desired result of more clients to talk with, right? It's a matter of finding what works for you and what fits your personality and suits, your strengths and fills your cup up instead of putting holes in your bucket, let's say, and draining you, right? Okay. Oh, look, this is a good one. How are you getting the image of the home and address to auto-populate? Richie, you're not watching the show often enough.
It's just a feature in Thanks.
Yep.
It's just if you go to the
when you use the dynamic image builder in Thanks, you can choose to either merge in the Google Street View or the Google Map View. So the Street View, right? Like they're actually on the street, or the map view of the property. And the reason why I bring up both is I often, not often, because I'm in a rural area, I tend to use the map view more often, because sometimes the street view in my area either isn't available, or it's like the street view is literally like of a row of bushes. Whereas the map view, the overhead view, like that works pretty much regardless of your market, geographic area, etc. So these are, Ryan, how many there are? The photo too? What do you mean, Rick?
Yeah, the picture of the house of the recipient address.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Did he mean? The image of the home. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So the things You can dynamically insert the address of the property. You can dynamically insert the Google Street View, the map view. You can dynamically insert all kinds of different things on both the front and the back of these cards, which makes them more relevant and congruent to the recipient. Okay. If you get a postcard in the mail and your property is on that postcard, you're going to at least pay attention enough to read the card and see what the message is, or at least you're way more likely to, let's say.
Yeah. And if you are using IList, I do have a training about how to do everything Josh did. Is it go.thanks.io/IList? And it's just like 5 videos that walk through the exact setup and how to craft the IList URL so that it works. And
yeah, he said that's really good. I sent out 400 and maybe got 2 scans. There was something there missing, Richie, because Ryan, what do you see on average?
I mean, on a very cold, you should see at least 1%. On a very cold, if you send 100, you should
on more targeted. On more targeted, yeah, I typically get 4, 5, 6. I've gotten as high as 10% scan rates. So 1 out of every 10 to scan. Generally speaking, it's going to be closer to. I would shoot for, if it's not greater than 2, something's wrong. Either with the audience or the message, most likely.
Well, or the market. I mean, there's seasonality too. The campaigns you've been sending, Josh, you started in late October, early November. It was kind of crickets November and December, but now we're starting to see that 4 out of 25. We're starting to see people come out of the woodwork. So don't give up after 1 push. Yeah.
Yep. So a little bouncing around here today, a couple of different things, right? Just kind of a little bit. A little bit of a smorgasbord. You got to maybe take some time and decompress and figure out what one thing from today would make sense for me to implement, and then take action on that. And maybe it's just the down payment assistance script that Lo was talking about, because the follow-up to that is it's getting people off the fence. It's getting people off the fence and in conversation. And so using scripting like that it's almost impossible for you to directly change someone's motivation. But if you make good offers and you make them aware or proactively overcome objections that may be keeping them from taking the next step, you can at least create a conversation. For example, people thinking about selling, but they think they can't sell their home as is, right? Like they think they have to make a bunch of renovations or clean it up. Just making them aware of the fact that, hey, you could sell your house as is. Is that something you'd be interested in? So, hope you can join us later today, 1 o'clock Eastern, wakeup.realestate/MM. We'll talk retargeting, boosting posts from your personal Facebook page. And we've had some great attendance and some great interaction and questions on those. So hope to see many of you there. We do record those and add those to the Wake Up Real Estate site. Just another reason why you should create a free account at wakeup.realestate. You can check those out. We've also, the last 2 weeks, been talking about those short form video, and Mike has turned that into a little mini course that will continue to add more information and details and tutorials to as well. Tomorrow is Tech Tip Thursday, and Ryan, I won't be here on Friday. My son has a official visit at Delaware.
Nice. That's a cool campus.
So that's a great school. He had a prospect camp there on Sunday and absolutely killed it. And they want to have him for a visit and make him an offer. So,
and I haven't told you, but I'll be camping Friday, so I think we're just gonna have to no show
on Friday.
Oh well.
Woo! Okay, so that lets everybody catch up on Friday. You can just binge watch whatever you've missed so far this year. So that means tomorrow, Tech Tip Thursday, will be our last live show of the week. I hope that you will join us. I have no idea what we'll be talking about. But we'll come up with some good. We'll come up.
Yeah, at about 9:55 tomorrow, we'll come up with some ideas.
Exactly. Or if you have any, you can comment below with some tech tips, or shoot us an email, or use the chat widget on the site if you have any great tech tips that would be useful I should have saved the little email. That's a little tech tip, right? The email to include
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll have some good stuff tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and I hope to see you then.
Yeah.